Is that he forgot I'm the big dog in this planet, and he's gonna get hurt.
Came off the ropes when he got pinned there with some beautiful shots back at Tony.
Oh, big left hook!
On November 18th, 1994, the MGM Grand played host to a rare kind of fight, a high-stakes clash between two undefeated fighters ranked in the top 5 pound for pound. IBF super middleweight champion James Toney stepped in to defend his title against former middleweight king Roy Jones Jr. In boxing, matchups this big do not come around often. Jones turned pro in 1989, and by 1993 he had already captured the middleweight world title by beating Bernard Hopkins. After making a successful defense, he chose to move up to super middleweight. But Roy was not taking a safe step into a new division. He was jumping straight in with the top dog of the weight class, the man ranked number 2 pound for pound in the world. Jones himself sat right behind him at number 3. The only man above both of them was Pernell Whitaker. James Toney had also won his first world title at middleweight back in 1991. From there, he ripped through 6 successful title defenses in just 14 months. In 1993, he moved up to super middleweight and schooled Iran Barkley to take the IBF belt. The fight with Roy Jones marked Toney's 4th defense of that title. Based on the records, James Toney came in as a slight favorite, at least in the eyes of the general public. But people deep in the boxing world knew Toney was dealing with real problems, especially with making weight. And there was another factor too. In 1994, leading into this fight, Roy Jones had fought 2 times and gone only 8 rounds combined, while Toney had already fought 4 times in 6 months and logged 33 total rounds. Still, Toney made the weight, even though he reportedly had to cut as much as 40 pounds. And if anything, that only added more intrigue to an already massive fight. Before the fight, neither man held back with his words, which was no surprise considering they were both dominant champions sitting near the top of the pound for pound rankings.
People think they're better than me. That motivates me. Roy Jones thinks he's better than me. I'm motivated. I was telling him business.
I feel I'm the best fighter in the world today. I feel I'm the best fighter in the world ever. And I'm sure the opposition feels the same.
Especially Toney, who did not see Roy as a real threat.
I can box, I can punch, I can fight going forward, I can fight backwards. So like I said, everybody will see November 18th that I'm the best fighter in the world. This is how he's that. He forgot I'm the big dog in this planet. And he's gonna get hurt. Well, like I said, he stepped up to challenge me. Anybody challenge me, got to get dogged out. That's my job. You know, I'm not gonna say if somebody challenge me, gonna say, oh, he's a nice guy and all that. I'm not gonna do that. A man challenging me, he gonna get dogged out.
What about you, Roy? Anybody who come into the ring against you got to get dogged out too?
Nah, you don't gotta get dogged out, you just gotta get taught a lesson.
How you gonna teach him a lesson? Tell us what's gonna happen in the fight.
That's all I can do. I gotta go out there and do what I gotta do to teach that lesson.
He can't. Can nobody teach me a lesson? I'm the teacher, baby. I'm the teacher.
See. We'll see
come
come to 18.
I'm breaking you up.
We'll see come to 18.
I'm breaking you up.
We'll see come to 18.
That's all I gotta say, breaking you.
We'll see come to 18.
Fight.
I'm your huckleberry. That's just what I'm looking for.
Get your track shoes on.
That's my game. That's
Get your
just
track
my
shoes
game.
on, boy.
That's just my game.
I'm knocking your punk ass out.
All right, gentlemen.
And finally, the long-awaited fight night had arrived. The night Roy Jones would shine like never before in his career.
Starving man for victory.
Right from the opening moments, one thing became obvious immediately. James Toney was known for his fast hands, but compared to Roy Jones's freakish speed, many of Toney's attacks looked slow and even sluggish. Roy was faster with his hands, faster with his feet, and more importantly, faster with his mind.
Right at it.
Toney trying to look real slick for Roy Jones, and Roy Jones is throwing some tentative punches, a few of them are missing here. But Toney looks like he knows what he wants to do. He wants to make him miss punches, feel his power a little bit. He's in control. He's the one making him miss. He'll walk him down.
James Toney is a devastating body puncher. And we'll see when he starts his assault downstairs as Roy Jones starting to pitch some shots here to get the early lead.
Toney trying to be real indignant as to break down the confidence of Roy Jones right now. And Roy Jones is doing things that normally land on other fighters, aren't landing on James Toney right away. That jump in left hook, that little right hand, and Toney's just kind of enjoying himself, making all that miss. Here, Roy Jones just adjusted that left hook and threw it a little bit lower because he knew Toney was ducking underneath it. So that shows good.
The first half of round number 1, that's not a problem, I guess, when you know you have a 12-rounder and you believe you can knock a guy out, and I think that's what Tony has in mind.
Yeah, well, you're not necessarily sure he conceded this first round. We're only halfway through. The other thing is that, you know, it's ring generalship as well. Who's controlling the pace? Who's making who do what? And right now, Jones has landed the only meaningful punches, but the round isn't over yet.
Good counter left hook there from Tony.
Tony just missed the counter right hand off of Jones's lunging right hand. Yeah, he does, but it comes out so quick, and he's got such great lateral movement that even though he keeps his hands down, he somehow finds a way to get out of your way.
Nice right lead there from Jones.
And he wasn't there for the counter right hand back from Tony, because what did he do? He slid right off to the side.
He's landing the punch and leaving the scene of the crime. Jones the aggressor here in round one. Tony yet to really put that body attack together.
Jones just left with his right hand down and caught a little bit.
Richard's still confused about that 10-second
clap,
which was really just a 10-second warning.
Tony changed tactics several times. He tried coming forward, but kept running into counters. He tried fighting while backing up, but he simply could not keep up with Roy or counter him effectively.
Jones taking his time now, so is Tony. Well, along with going to the body, is he can take a punch, and he even said in the press conference that he likes to get hit. Jones will oblige him there.
And then Jones wised up and he threw a little left to the midsection, to the belly with that left hand. It's not to look, you know, it's a beautiful combination all up the glove zone.
Best moment that we've seen from Tony had to be against McCallum, and also what he did against Iran Barkley. Have you ever seen a job like the one he put on Barkley? That was something to watch.
Barkley's style was made to order for James Tony, since he's such a nice little counter left hook right up with Roy Jones off the missed right hand by Tony. But that style of Barkley was made to order for James Tony.
With that foot from Tony, I notice when Jones throws his punches, Joe, he leaves his hands down.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, he's got with a little right hand, Jones did. Jones leans back so well on his right, so you walk into his hands, not his head.
It became clear that Roy Jones had found his rhythm. And when Roy did that, it was something almost unstoppable. And when you add the fact that he was doing it against the #2 fighter in the world, you were watching one of the greatest performances in boxing history.
Tonight against Tony. Good lead, left hooks.
Beautiful movement by Roy Jones in the corner. He bounced off one rope, bounced off the other, and came out of the corner before Tony knew what happened. But Tony's biding his time right now. So he's got to look for something like that counter right hand off that lead by Roy Jones Jr.
Tony yet to go to the body, and that's been one of his mainstays.
It's awful dangerous to go to the body against a guy with such quick hands like Roy Jones. So James Tony might be looking to drop him in occasionally, but he's got to be very careful.
So far, Jones has asserted himself pretty well. Good combination from Jones. Tony into trouble. Jones now starting to come forward, landing some uppercuts inside, and Tony says, "Give me more. Is that all you got?" Jones says, "Yeah, I'll take the round with you."
In the third round, one of the most iconic moments in boxing took place. Tony tried to answer Jones's showboating, and instantly paid for it.
Big headshot there from Jones to keep him out of the inside, though. Jones the quicker of the two. Would you agree, Joe?
Well, he is at this point. Right now, Tony seemingly thinks he knows what he has to do, and that's to put the pressure on. But Roy Jones came off the ropes when he got pinned there with some beautiful shots back at Tony.
Oh! Big left hook, and down goes Tony! He was caught showing off.
He is here because he was fooling around.
You know, Jones actually stuck his hands apart as if to joke, and Tony did the same thing, and Jones was too quick before Tony could get back defensively, and Jones starting to put it together here in the third. A minute gone by. Here comes Tony now, loading up the right hand right in the corner of Jones. I have to figure you're probably surprised at the power of Jones as well.
I'm not surprised at the power of Jones at all, but I'm surprised that James Tony has taken this long.
But to his credit, he did get a little payback later in that same round.
Might happen and get his counters in.
He's really getting hit by some counter shots from Jones here. Jones's hands and his feet, everything a lot quicker, and his confidence growing. That could be dangerous, though, against Tony. Good counter by Tony, his best punch of the fight.
Whoa. Street, ring, anywhere, you wouldn't want to fight either one of these guys, especially Roy Jones at this point.
So far, it's been all we figured it would be. Jones scoring the knockdown. It was more than a flash knockdown. Tony was off balance, but the power of the left hook kind of knocked him into his own turnbuckle.
What I want you to look at, see, is even though you just saw him miss right hand, is look at Jones when he gets pinned on the ropes and he ties up Tony. He looks around at the crowd. It's like he's just wrestling with his baby brother. No problem. He's got someone, look at him. See, looks around, no problem. You know, I can deal with that. He's really an amazing guy, full of self-confidence.
Look how low his hands are. Tony nearly caught him that time with the left hook.
But you saw what happened. Jones let his hands down, but they're so quick, he leaned back and caught Tony with a little left hook. And Jones so long, it'll work for him tonight as well.
He is so quick. Tony is right now finding out that, and he seems a bit confused. Or
what's your game plan against Roy Jones?
Roy understood exactly how dangerous his opponent was, so he relied on his extraordinary speed and sharp combinations while minimizing risks. He knew that a fighter like Tony could punish one mistake and steal the fight.
He does get close to Roy Jones. He can't let Richard Steele come in and break it, separate, and give more room.
Good left hook.
It wasn't a strong left hook, but it was one that's aggravating and kind of demoralizing.
Jones is working that left hand. That's been his pet punch so far here through 3+.
Just when you think you should watch out for the hook, Jones will come with that straight right hand, and it's fast and hard.
3.5 years, Tony's been a champion. And they're talking to one another now. Good body work from Jones.
Well, right now it's a runaway for Roy Jones Jr., unfortunately, for James Toney. This is where he's got to do his work. You see how he just put his arm around Roy Jones there? He can't. He's got to keep his hands in front of him and work. The closer Roy Jones gets to Tony is when he's got to start punching.
Big shot from Tony, his best punch of the fight. And Jones nods his head as if to say, nah, didn't feel much of it. Tony has perhaps the bigger one punch, but he's not really a one-punch knockout artist. He goes to the body a lot, but he hasn't had a chance to really do that so far here in this one, Joe.
His Roy Jones Jr. is really amazing. He gets a good right hand by Tony off those 2 misses by Jones. But see how he slides off to the side of Tony, too. Tony will dip that left shoulder, and he takes advantage of that by going around Tony and landing beautiful little angle shots on him. Really frustrating for James Toney right now.
2 minutes gone by here in the fourth. Tony starting to assert himself again here.
As Roy Jones just landed 4 wicked shots, 2 to the body and 2 to the head.
This has been all good so far. Both fighters showing us their stuff, and Jones so far the better. Using the jab and the hooks and the right leads occasionally.
Jones's body is medium, not the weight.
Here's Jones. And champion off balance. Jones rallying late here.
Punching it out, punching it out. Right, step back.
That moment nearly came in the 5th round. Tony cleverly acted as if one of Jones's punches had hurt him, and Roy took the bait. Tony landed 2 precise shots on him. Not long after that, Roy nearly outsmarted himself again, but his reflexes allowed him to lean his head back just enough, and the punch only grazed him.
There by Jones. What I noticed is Jones will use his left hand, almost like Larry Holmes, just to wave it across himself, and then he'll throw a hook off of it.
A few seconds ago, threw a left hand to the body, and then slid over completely around James Toney.
And both fighters gave away a guaranteed $2 million plus to take some gate receipts. And there's Tony getting hit with some lefts and some rights. Playing a decoy game, but Jones landing the back. And they trade inside, and the power of Tony being noticed there. Again, Tony landing. And Jones coming back with some offering. And they trade in the middle of the squared circle here at the MGM. A minute left here in the 5th. Tony coming up with some big shots here in this round. But he has to come through some shots of Jones also.
Because right now, good left hook by Roy Jones Jr. Right now, Jones is just fresh as a daisy, and he's got all sorts of energy.
Very sneaky left hand for Jones. Tony has him right where he should do some work to the right here.
Tony can't always wait for that right hand.
Whistling turnaround left hook for Tony. He nearly got it, though.
And you saw how Jones got out of the corner, was standing behind him like he walked through him. So this kid is just unbelievable. You cannot let him rest. You've got to tire out Roy Jones Jr., and that means constant pressure.
This is a very close round, Joe. Who do you like so far in this one?
Well, Tony landed his occasional counter punches here, but I still like Jones for landing and ring generalship. The punches he's landed early on, he did more work. And I just think it's been pretty much a sweep for Roy Jones.
Even when Tony reacted to the beginning of an attack, by the time he expected the follow-up, Jones was already gone, already standing at a new angle. Even when Jones was right in front of him, he still had the edge over Tony in reaction time, flexibility, and speed. Tony simply could not keep up with him.
What I expected, and that was that Roy Jones would use his superior athletic ability on top of his God-given boxing talent. Look at that. I mean, that's just an athlete, pure and simple, and Tony's having a hard time dealing with it, even though he's probably the more accomplished fighter. He's got to do something to turn the tide here. And that's, do that. Get rough, go to the body, use your arms, your forearms. Do anything you can to slow down Roy Jones and expose something that he will be vulnerable to.
Tony looking to make something happen. He hasn't been able to so far. Jones is really slick, though. He has proven to be all of what many people that know him, even though we know who he is. A lot of the boxing people out there that are watching the fight right now, they're not that familiar with Roy Jones Jr.
I think the general public, you're right, has not very much knowledge of Roy Jones, but the boxing community, of course, does, and that's why everyone anticipated this fight so much with a beautiful left hook by Roy Jones.
Tony missing the overhand.
See, even though Roy Jones's hands are down on the ropes.
Oh, the prior 5 or so, but good left hand there from Roy Jones. Jones still landing his pet punch, though, which is the left hook.
Yeah, see, he knew he wasn't going to land that punch. Boom, he got out, jackrabbit it quick, and that's the amazing thing about Roy Jones. Look, threw a left hook, leaned back, didn't get hit with the sweeping right hand by Tony.
Closing seconds here of round 6. This will take us to the midway point in this bout.
Look at that, right behind him again.
Tony has to be frustrated.
Of course, that's what got Terry Norris DQ'd.
What also stood out was Roy Jones's calmness and composure as he systematically beat his opponent apart. He was not overwhelming Tony with brute force. He was taking him apart, piece by piece, with precision and control.
Shoulders, arm, anything, but you've got to score your punches. And you can't do it by trying to counterpunch and be slick. You've got to really start taking chances at opening up and making the other guy open up, because obviously the superior talent is Jones. You're not going to beat him in a tactical game.
With the exception of the 4th round, perhaps every other round has been Jones's round. And here, in round 7, he comes out in the first minute, goes right back to work with the lefts and rights. Tony getting hit by some big shots from Jones in the center of the ring. Combination punching there by Jones.
James Toney right now has been in a lot of fights. Got clipped with a beautiful right hand by Roy Jones and shook it off real well. But Tony's never been able somebody this talented, with the exception of maybe Michael Nunn, who was doing the same thing to him. Was getting around him, surrounding him. But Nunn ran out of gas, like I said.
Here from Tony, but like you said, he has to try something.
Right, he's got to do this, and you know, I'm sure Bill Miller in Tony's corner would like to have referee Richard Steele just stay out of the way and let Tony maul him a little bit. I know as a corner man right now, I'd make sure in between rounds, I'd tell Richard Steele, hey, leave my man alone in the corner. He's trying to work just because the other guy's holding on. Give him a chance to work out of it, just like that.
Time ticking away here for the champion as we go into the final 45 seconds of round 7. And Jones still connecting on combinations with the quicker hands and the more accuracy. Tony just pounding Jones, or Jones rather pounding Tony. Combination punching. Champion on the ropes now. And you don't see Jones, or Tony rather, retreat very often. He seems to be a bit winded too, Joe.
Well, listen, those punches are taking their toll on James Toney, because he just got caught with another good left hook, even though he's sliding and rolling with a lot of them.
Oh, good left hand from Tony, and right at the bell, Tony's best moment, but after he had been mauled for the majority of round number 7.
Look at that little replay there. We're going to see this left hook land, but it was high on the head.
Shot there, Tony hurt by that shot.
Roy Jones
Swinging
Jr.
wildly. Some headshots, and they're piling up for Jones, the challenger. He backs Tony up, and this is not a scene that you'll see very often. Here comes Jones. Has Tony in his corner, pounding him to the head with left and right. Tony fires back a right hand.
Tony was riding out 99% of those punches, especially in the corner there. That was a little shot behind the head from Roy Jones, which doesn't do anybody any good.
He's taking a beating in the process.
Well,
good work from Jones.
You can see Jones isn't going to punch himself out. It's the 8th round already. He's trained his whole life for this. He's been in training camp for 2 months for this fight. He's not going to get tired. He's done everything right.
As he opens his mouth to breathe a bit harder and gets caught with a left hook right in the mouth.
But he can't break up James Toney on the inside when he finally gets to do a little what he gets to do.
Not the referee himself, but the representation in the state.
You know, right now, I would say that whatever it was or should have been covered earlier wasn't. And the fact of the matter is it should be the corner's job right now to try to help out his fighter, get any edge he can by talking to the referee.
Right hand and more blood in the mouth of Toney. He said once before he likes to get hit.
When he finally gets in there.
Ooh! Oh, big left hand from Toney, but not as big as it appeared.
Look at Steele, though. He's getting in the way too much here. He's got to let these guys fight a little bit more.
And that just fired up Roy Jones in the final 10 seconds. A street fight now in the middle of the ring. What is Richard Steele doing there?
He heard the...
It's a 10-second warning. What a bad move by Richard Steele. I hate to say it.
What also stood out was Roy Jones's calmness and composure as he systematically beat his opponent apart. He was not overwhelming Toney with brute force. He was taking him apart, piece by piece, with precision and control.
You could do this the rest of the fight and still win.
One thing it does for Toney, though, it gives him a chance to move in because there's no punches coming at him. Would this have been the moment coming into this round that you tell Toney to go in there and finish this guy? It's getting late.
Well, I would have told James Toney that 4 rounds ago that it was obvious and apparent that there's no way you're going to tactic this man, that you're going to have to go in there and just rough him up, open him up.
Things could change not only in the judge's mind, but in the ring itself.
Tell you what, the judge on my side's got it a shutout. I would be really shocked if these judges didn't have a big lead for James Toney right now.
You mean for Jones?
Or for Roy Jones Jr., I'm sorry. James Toney, if I'm his corner man, and I'm looking at it from a corner man standpoint, I'm saying you need a knockout. Whether the judge has it that way or not.
The left eye of Toney is swelling, a lot of redness around it. For Jones, he's unmarked in the closing seconds here of round 9. Oh, good right hand coming out of the clinch inside from Jones, the challenger. Sneaky punch. He is very slick, Joe. 10-second count as lunging in the champion. He gets caught with the left and knocked into the neutral turnbuckle.
Well,
the
Jones
hourglass
two rights
away the sand for the champion. James lights out Toney. And he's looking for a bit of deja vu in this one. Jones quickly using that counter left.
Toney threw that right hand to the body. Jones countered it, bang, right over the top. And then bounced off the ropes and just kind of raised his hands and slithered off the ropes away from James Toney. The body attack has been dismembered by 3 things. 1, James Toney hasn't really taken it, didn't do it early enough. Number 2, Roy Jones Jr. won't let him because he's tying him up. And number 3, Richard Steele breaks it up pretty darn quick once they do get on the inside.
Sounds like a shutout.
Yeah, it's really hard to get your body work on when you got a guy like Jones that is just so adept at turning and twisting. And look, throwing hands up and just, he's got great radar. It's hard to get a solid shot off body or head. Look at Toney, he's back turned to him again.
I don't know.
Well, you know, like I said, it doesn't look like James is real sluggish. It just looks like Roy Jones Jr. is at supersonic speed right now. I think this is the same James Toney we normally see. It's just that he's got a guy in there that is just head and shoulders athletically above him. And James Toney, I don't think it's the weight so much as this style is just killing him.
You have to love the way that Toney is, or rather Jones is negotiating the clock here in this round. He steps away, runs to his right, then slicks back to his left, lands a couple, leaves the scene of the crime, then back inside. Even on the ropes, he, as you mentioned, ties up well.
He ties up well, he looks nonchalant, he's looking around the audience, he jumps in with sneaky punches. When you think he's not going to punch on the inside, he whips 3 and 4 punches to your belly. He backs off, jumps in. Oh, man. This is any trainer's worst nightmare, this type of fight. And there's not many of them out there. Maybe Pernell Whitaker is as tricky as this kid.
Tony's right hand landing there, but he didn't really find the kisser with it. Closing seconds here of the 10th round. Whistling right hand, unfortunate around the nose on top of the left hook. Tony being encouraged to go after his man. He's really tried. They're a pretty good left hook for Tony.
You see how Roy Jones stuck out his hand straight and put his head back, like trying to beautiful left hook by Roy Jones.
Right
he just turns and slides off the ropes, and the punch from Tony lands on his off his forearm. I've seen him really do some extraordinary things in the ring. The one against Mike McCallum, who's a consummate counterpuncher boxer. Star-like performance to beat a guy like Roy Jones. I can see him going undefeated as long as he wants to be, as long as he stays in shape and keeps his head on straight.
Even when he's trying to duck under a punch, Jones will catch him with the left hook as he did seconds ago. I'm surprised Tony's not coming after him with everything. Ooh, good smash to the face from the champion, Tony. And a counter right. He should be all over him right now, though.
He's hard to catch. Look at the feet. Just watch his feet. They never stop. And once they do stop, he'll tie you up and then hit you. Look. Oh, beautiful left hook. He gets on both sides here.
This is incredible to see Tony get waxed like this on the rope.
Tony got hit with a good right hand. I know he's a little stunned, but I know he's going to play possum here and come out of it with something. Tony was playing a little bit of possum off that good shot, but not enough to put him down or out.
Jones trading into the ring here.
Oh boy, how many times has he done that to James Tony? Jumped in with that left hook. Tony's got nothing on his punches at this point either.
I think he's hurt now too, Joe. To the body and upstairs.
Look at Tony. He is a bad dude, let me tell you. He'd like this fight to go on for about 38 rounds.
He could probably win it.
Yeah, then he might win it. But in 12 rounds, you ain't going to beat Roy Jones Jr.
Final seconds here of round 11. And of course, everyone's curious about what Tony will do in the final 3 minutes of work.
And then came the final round. Since Tony was clearly exhausted, Roy spent the last 4 rounds mostly on his feet, staying elusive. But he was still constantly pressuring Tony with feints and quick, sharp attacks.
Jones not changing his plan here, even though it appears as though he has the fight won if he can stay on his feet. Right down Main Street from Tony, and he could turn the tide. Late in the fight when he seemed to be all but beaten. He came back with the big right hand in the 10th round to knock out Michael Moore, but
Foreman was landing his shots all throughout the fight. He was getting beat, yes, but he was landing his shots and he was breaking Michael Moore down. On the other hand, James Tony just hasn't been able to get those repeated shots on the chin of Roy Jones to break him down, and that's been the difference here. It's been total control. I think a lot of people kind of knew that Jones was the type of fighter that could pull this type of performance out of his hat.
I get the impression that Jones wants to close out the show in grand fashion. Instead of moving, you see him throwing rights like that and landing.
Threw a right hand. Tony came back with a counter.
Oh, a smash! Left hook to the face from Jones. And Tony unable to come back with anything. And it looks as though it's going to go in the books as an upset, a slight one. They opened the fight at even here at the MGM, and the public quickly jumped on Tony.
And looking back on it, it's hard to bet against a guy, a winner like James Tony, especially with some of the brilliant things we've seen him do. But here we just saw the emergence of a true superstar in this game against Roy Jones Jr.
Jones wants to finish in grand fashion here as he's starting to get more aggressive in the final 10 seconds.
The final result: Roy Jones Jr. wins by unanimous decision, captures a world title in his second weight class, and moves up to number 2 in the pound-for-pound rankings. But more importantly, this fight is widely considered the greatest performance of his career. And if there was ever a boxer who, at one moment in time, came closer than anyone to absolute invincibility, it was Roy Jones Jr. that night against James Tony.
Scorecards: John Stewart scores the bout, 119 to 108. Glenn Hamada scores it, 117 to 110. And Jerry Roth has it, 118 to 109 for the winner by unanimous decision. And new super middleweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr.